Hey guys, welcome to the video. Today, as the title probably told you, we are going to be experimenting with the Principia mod, which is a KSP mod that basically changes the entire orbital mechanic system in Kerbal Space Program by introducing end-body physics, and I'll explain a bit more on that later, on what those are and how exactly I don't know what I'm doing, because I do not have the intelligence required to do these calculations. But you're just quickly seeing me build a quick Saturn V replica because we're going to the moon and we're coming right back home. Easy mission. Just kidding. This mission took like 3 hours for me to do and was genuinely painful. And I think that's just about it. I think the rock's nearly done. I think we're just gonna put in those F1 engines, and then I think we're gonna put in that launch base, and then a little bit of a launch tower. Not much of a launch tower, I'm not gonna lie, but just a little bit of one. And I think, yeah, I think that's it. Let's see how this thing performs. Alright, so here on the launch pad, this beautiful, beautiful rocket I made just quickly in like 30 minutes or so. It's gonna take a little launch, the launch pad. Oh god. Yeah, I didn't realize the thrusters needed a second to gain up their thrust, but it's all good, you know? We only just probably crushed it with like, I don't know, a couple of thousand tons of weight directly on those bells. I'm sure they're fine. We can continue the launch. As you can see, we're about to see our first little bit of Principia, which don't care about that. That's for something later. But as you can see, our orbital line is pink instead of the usual Kerbal Space Program blue. And I'm just checking out on Lathe here because I just heard something about it on the Principia notification. But it's okay, it's nothing. So the reason why it's pink is because with Principia, and again, more on this later of exactly how Principia is, but in Kerbal Space Program, what it adds is estimations. So your orbit isn't going to always be your orbit, and you'll see exactly what I mean. Like a low Kerbal orbit, it'll stay a low Kerbal orbit. But when we start intercepting with the Mun, you'll see things get different wildly fast. Alright, so Principia is, it's from a book called the Principia Mathematica, made by some guy, I think Russell was his last name, and it's basically a bunch of mathematical equations that I have no right to explain to anybody except probably a child. But, yeah, it's very difficult, and the mod uses this, and it also uses something called n-body physics, which is right here, ignoring the fact that that just popped up. But basically, n-body physics are basically planets and moons and any other mass around affect each other, and you'll see this in KSP. KSP uses sphere of influences, which basically means the moment I enter the Mun sphere of influence, there's no curbing gravity. But with the mod, there is curbing gravity plus the Mun gravity, just curbing gravity is a bit less. And this is exactly n-body physics is exactly what we use to set up the James Webb Telescope in its Lagrange point. And if just as a little quick knowledge thing, this is about basically the simples of what I know about orbital mechanics when it comes down to my classes. So this is basically what I know. It's pretty simple, and everything's 100% efficient, and there's no n-body physics. It's perfect for Kerbal Space Program, and it's what Kerbal Space Program uses. Now, since Principia does affect everybody, you get situations like this, where if you don't alter the Joule system, Val will get flung out at a very fast rate. And as you can see, I caught it colliding with Lathe, which is something I never thought I would see ever, but it happens. So Principia will try to correct the error by like resetting Lathe's position, but the funny thing is that just kind of just forces it back into it. It like slows Val down to the point where Val gets picked up by Lathe, and it goes into a like kind of like a decaying orbit type thing. It's very interesting, but yeah, it comes right back in and just smashes into the side of Lathe, which I think was pretty cool. But luckily that will never happen to the Kerbin system, or Kerbin will never fly into Eve or Duna or anything. This is mainly for the Joule system, which is highly unstable. Yeah, I didn't patch this in this video. I think I might later, but I don't know how to fix this. I might have to manually change it. Yeah, it's pretty cool seeing the clouds though, kind of on the side of Val. I want to see what that looks like with like a probe or something. But you know, there it goes. It's like directly in the center too. It's very cool. And it comes right back out. It actually like comes right back for a second there, like Joule, like the Principia trying to save it. Alright, now we're here for a translunar injection burn, which, you know, is pretty cool. I didn't use all the fuel in that stage. I didn't think it was important. What a mistake that was. And here you're seeing exactly what Principia is so good for. So as you can see, I set my orbit and set my trajectory, and I think it looks good, and then I realized right about here, I'm like, oh god, I'm on a collision with the Mun. So I do a bunch of wild burns, and as you can see, my nav ball is, to me, completely unreadable. I have no idea what I'm looking at. I'm just flying around uncontrollably, just going, yeah, that looks about right. And the thing is I didn't change my position, so basically what was happening was I was just seeing what like my reference frame from Kerbin would look like, which is why you're seeing these kind of like hops, which you definitely don't want, because that's in fact still a collision right there at that very tippy point. But yeah, I just kind of fool around with my fuel and just kind of crash into the Mun like 5 times and save myself those 5 times. It even gets to the point where I just run out of fuel in that stage, and I just have to quickly just go on and just completely reset just quickly go back and connect the 2. Yeah, this sucks. This was like complete ass. I don't know what I was doing here. And it kind of shows you why, even though I've played Kerbal Space Program for like 800 hours or something, I have no experience when it comes down to these, like, to this mod. This mod is incredibly difficult. But yeah, you can see I just continuously continue to fall. And then I jump, and then I fall, and then I jump, and then I fall, and I'm just so confused. It actually only fixes when I reset my, like I go to the tracking station and come back when I finally get a good, like, Mun launch, or like it switches my reference frame to the Mun, so I get a clean orbit. But yeah, I look like a fool. I look like it's my first time playing Kerbal Space Program. Oh, I'm just undocking the lunar exploration module, whatever it's called, and just getting ready for a casual moon landing. Which, luckily this part is the part that's pretty much the same. Landing is not hard whatsoever. It's very much the same. You just kind of plot your point. I even like the little trajectory it gives me where my impact's going to be. I try to use the suicide burn counter, but it's completely pointless. It's not really helping. That's because we're so horizontal. It's really only counting vertical, which definitely wouldn't work. But yeah, I do the landing. It's not bad. It's pretty easy. I even go into IVA, you know, trying to reenact how Neil did it. Yeah, don't mind. Those IVAs are all fucked. Except for the KSA one. That one's a good one. So I'm just really taking it slow here, you know, I'm really just easing on the throttle. The pod looks amazing. Got a lot of Delta V to work with, way more than what I should have packed, honestly. And I'll make my next biggest mistake in just a second here, after I land and do my little fun walk around on the moon. But yep, I make it. It's very easy. Nice soft landing. Pretty proud of myself with that one. Then pull up the myth, the legend, Jeb, the pilot of the Slander, and the service module. Yep, I got that. Got there eventually. Too bad he's kind of ass as a pilot with this mod. It's definitely not my fault, it's his fault. Yep, I planted that flag in the worst spot, but I was pretty mad at this point. Anyway, after I get into my vehicle and I take my sweet ass time getting to my seat, we finally get to experience the issues of rendezvous. I like this little new thing they give me. It tells me where it's gonna be within the next kind of line, which is good. But I probably should have waited because I didn't. I just kind of rushed it, and I even took off with this module first. I don't know why it was so hard to lift off that time, but whatever. So yeah, I pick off with this, and oh, whoop, oh, all the footage is bugged. Wow, that's crazy. Don't mind that. Don't mind that. That's not important. But don't. Yep, yep. Oh wow, wow, whoa, crazy stuff. And we're docked it. I don't know what to tell you. Definitely wasn't because I'm so ass at docking with this new Principia mod that it was absolutely fucking ridiculous. And now we're just gonna, get out of here. So I kind of just fool around, slowly getting pushed out of the Kerbin system, as you can see. And then I turn on infinite propellant again. Yeah, I'm a big old cheater. That's second cheating time. Yeah, I suck at this Principia mod. I probably should have done my homework first, but I decided to just kind of wing it, and that was my biggest mistake. But it's all good. We're gonna make it. We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back home, even though it's what the Kerbin scientists are saying as our impossible odds, and it makes no sense how we made it back home. So yeah, enjoy this quick re-entry cinematic. This is pretty sick. Anyway, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed. This mod was very hard. If you made it this far in the video, I'm honestly surprised. But yeah, I hope you enjoy yourself. This was pretty fun to make, pretty hard, and I'll definitely be working more things on it. Have a nice day.